Hi, everybody. Justine Froelker, author, speaker, corporate trainer, certified Daring Way, and Dare to Lead Facilitator. And this is the space where we talk about courageous resilience in a very imperfect way with lots of animated emotion, and where I provide you with skills and tools and language to make real, daily, sustainable change in your life, to go live with more courage and change the world, because we all really need it. So whatever platform you are watching or listening on, whether or not it's a podcast player or YouTube or LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, thank you for being here. Make sure that you're following along and click the notifications bell or button so that you never miss a future episode. So we're in this series because the world is in a tough space, and maybe I can help. All right, so we've talked about emotional well-being. We've talked about we've talked about seeking to understand others, and you can't really seek to understand others without talking about empathy. And you know how I feel about empathy. So I always share empathy when I share my story. I'm a 40-year-old woman who can't have kids. The first question I'm almost always asked everywhere I go: how many kids do you have? Since I don't have kids and I'm an advocate and write about grief and loss and share my story and speak the unspoken, I say we can't have kids. We tried really hard. Two responses to that, usually, almost every time: oh, you poor thing, I just can't imagine. Or, why don't you just adopt? Now, these responses, never malicious. They really aren't. They are not meant to be hurtful. They are because people don't know what to say. They call my story sad. I no longer call it sad because I can't serve you with a sad story. I can serve you with a big story. So I'm doing the work to turn the sad story into a big story. However, when you hear it, you might feel sad and you just want to fix it with a simple solution and a quick fix, which is not possible, because guess what? There is no quick fix or simple solution to grief and loss and pain. It lasts a lifetime. There are no words that you can say that will make it better or take my pain away. Okay? They don't exist. And so there's this space of they say it because it's sad. They don't know what to say, so they just say something. More than that, though, they say it because they're not willing to get comfortable, lean in to their emotion, to the discomfort of emotion, so they just blurt words out. Empathy is choosing to sit beside someone with their pain. Empathy is choosing to identify with the emotions they might be feeling in that experience. You don't have to have gone through infertility and loss to know what it feels like as a woman who wanted to have kids, who can't have kids. Because guess what? It's just human emotions that you've probably felt before in your life too. Grief, sadness, bitterness, sometimes anger, things like that, unfairness. You've felt those things. You are equipped for empathy. Right now, we are living in a time that feels very difficult to choose the skill set of empathy. And it's a skill that we must choose. And guess what? There's an and in this video too. I had a friend say, I feel like I know empathy, I've learned it from you, and I feel like I can't empathize with black people, or I'm a mother to sons, but I don't have black sons. How can I empathize? And I was like, remember, empathy is about identifying with the emotion underneath. And so the pain and fear of raising children, putting them out in the world, making sure that they're safe, things like that. And can you completely understand what it means to be a black mother in this country because you are white? Probably not, because you were born into the home of white skin in a country that was built brokenly, sinfully for you. You are privileged by it. It's a world that builds you up. It's a world that offers you more opportunity. It's a world that you are safe in, that your sons are safe in. And that is not the same experience for people of color. I can choose to identify with the human experience of the trauma, the grief, the loss, the pain, the fear. That's empathy. And can I completely understand it? Probably not. I'm white. That is not an excuse to not show up. That is not an excuse to not sit beside and to seek to understand. Ask your friend of color what their experience has been like growing up in this country. And you listen and you believe them. And if you have a relationship with them, and after you ask them permission to ask them more questions, you ask more questions from a place of curiosity and empathy. And you don't offer a simple solution or a quick fix or a I can't imagine. We know you can't. I can't. I can only imagine is kind of a better. Again, it's just a simple word switch, and yet it's a little bit better. When we choose to meet people with their pain with a simple solution and a quick fix or a judgment or convincing or shaming or blaming, we leave them even more alone than they already are. When you tell me to go adapt or that you can't imagine my pain, I am even more alone. And I am already alone as a woman who can't have kids. And so I only use that example to help, one, because I know a lot of people in my audience are white and they'll be able to identify with that story. Black people too, because infertility and loss is huge in that community. I don't use that example to make it about me. I want you to understand that empathy is choosing to sit beside someone who feels differently than you, who is in pain and struggle, and seek to understand them, to make sure that they never feel unseen or unheard or unknown or unloved by you. Because they get that enough in this country. What would it be like for you, especially as a white person, to make sure that they feel seen and safe with you? That is empathy. And then because this country needs it, you turn it into action. And that is what Rachel Cargill, she's a great follow, I've learned so much from her on Instagram, calls radical empathy. And you change yourself to help be part of the change of the systems. So this one's going to be scary to post. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being willing to get uncomfortable in order to learn and grow and heal and change. And for trusting me enough to teach it to you, I suppose. And I'll see you next time. Make sure you follow and like on whatever platform you're on.